10 countries with highest female population. At number 1, China. China has one of the largest populations in the world, and historically, it has been recognized for having a significant female population. However, the country has also been known for its imbalanced sex ratio due to a preference for male children, resulting in a higher number of males compared to females in the past. This imbalance was largely influenced by the one-child policy, which was implemented from 1979 to 2015 and led to a preference for male heirs in some regions. The policy was relaxed in later years, and in 2016, China changed its policy to allow families to have 2 children. Efforts have been made to address the gender imbalance and promote gender equality, advocating for the rights and opportunities of women and girls. Chinese women have made significant strides in education and the workforce. Many women have achieved success in various fields, including business, academia, politics, and technology. The government has also taken steps to empower women economically and socially by promoting gender equality in employment and education. However, despite advancements, challenges related to gender inequality persist in various forms, including issues like the gender pay gap, limited representation in higher-level corporate positions, and traditional societal expectations that can affect women's roles in family and society. China's female population, as of the last available data, remains significant in numbers, and ongoing efforts are directed toward fostering gender equality, promoting women's rights, and addressing the long-standing imbalances that have affected the status of women in Chinese society. At number 2, India. India has long been recognized as having one of the highest female populations globally. As of the last available data, women make up a significant proportion of India's vast population. Throughout history, Indian women have played essential roles in family life, cultural practices, and economic activities. However, India, like many countries, has faced challenges related to gender inequality, impacting various aspects of women's lives. Access to education and healthcare has been a focal point in addressing gender disparities. Efforts have been made to enhance girls' education, aiming to improve literacy rates and empower women to participate more actively in the workforce and decision-making processes. Despite these efforts, certain deep-rooted issues persist, such as gender-based violence, unequal opportunities in some regions and communities, the prevalence of child marriage, and socio-cultural norms that restrict women's autonomy and limit their access to resources. The Indian government has implemented various measures to promote women's rights and gender equality. Legal reforms, policies advocating for women's participation in politics, initiatives supporting entrepreneurship among women, and campaigns raising awareness about women's issues are some examples of these efforts. Moreover, cultural shifts and advocacy movements have emerged, focusing on empowering women, challenging traditional gender roles, and addressing societal attitudes toward women's rights and gender equality. India's female population is diverse, representing a multitude of cultures, languages, and traditions across the nation. Continued efforts to address gender disparities, empower women economically and socially, and ensure their equal participation in all spheres of life are vital for India's progress toward a more equitable and inclusive society. At number 3, United States. The United States has a significant female population and ranks among the countries with a high number of women. As of the last available data, women constitute roughly half of the total population in the United States. Throughout U.S. history, women have played vital roles in various aspects of society, including politics, the economy, education, and culture. The women's rights movement in the 20th century advocated for gender equality, resulting in significant legislative changes and increased opportunities for women. Women in the United States have made strides in education and the workforce. More women are pursuing higher education and attaining professional positions across diverse fields. However, gender disparities, including wage gaps between men and women in similar roles, still persist. The U.S. government has enacted laws to promote gender equality, such as Title IX, which prohibits sex discrimination in education programs and activities receiving federal financial assistance. Additionally, policies related to maternity leave, reproductive rights, and workplace equality have been focal points in ongoing discussions about women's rights. Challenges remain, including issues of gender-based discrimination, barriers to career advancement, and disparities faced by women from marginalized communities. Advocacy groups and social movements continue to address these challenges, striving for greater gender inclusivity and equality. The cultural landscape in the United States continues to evolve, shaping attitudes and perceptions toward gender roles and women's empowerment. Efforts to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion across various sectors aim to create a more equitable society for all individuals, regardless of gender. At number 4, Indonesia. Indonesia, a diverse archipelago nation, has a substantial female population, constituting a significant portion of its total population. As of the last available data, women make up a considerable percentage of Indonesia's populace. Indonesian society has diverse cultural influences across its numerous islands, and women play integral roles in various aspects of family life, cultural traditions, and the workforce. However, the roles and rights of women can vary significantly across different regions and communities within the country. Efforts to address gender disparities and promote women's empowerment have been ongoing. Education initiatives have aimed to improve literacy rates among girls, encouraging their participation in schooling and higher education. These efforts are critical in empowering women to access better economic opportunities and contribute more actively to society. The Indonesian government has implemented policies and programs to support women's rights and participation in different sectors. Efforts have been made to improve women's access to healthcare services, increase female representation in politics, and enhance economic opportunities for women through entrepreneurship and employment initiatives. Despite progress, challenges such as gender-based violence, limited access to education and healthcare in some areas, and cultural norms that restrict women's roles and opportunities continue to exist. Advocacy groups and NGOs work alongside government initiatives to address these issues and promote gender equality. Cultural diversity is a hallmark of Indonesia, and efforts toward gender equality and women's empowerment take into account the various cultural contexts across the nation. Continued efforts are necessary to ensure that women in Indonesia have equal access to opportunities, resources, and rights, fostering a more inclusive and equitable society. At number 5, Brazil. Brazil has a significant female population, accounting for a substantial portion of the country's total population. Brazilian women play essential roles in various aspects of society, contributing to the nation's cultural, economic, and social development. Women in Brazil have made progress in education and the workforce. There has been a notable increase in the number of women pursuing higher education and entering various professions and industries, including politics, business, science, and the arts. The country has seen advancements in policies aimed at promoting gender equality and women's rights. Measures have been taken to address issues such as domestic violence, discrimination, and inequalities in the workplace. Brazil has implemented legislation to support women's rights, including laws focused on combating violence against women and promoting equal opportunities. However, despite these efforts, challenges persist. Gender-based violence remains a significant concern, with efforts ongoing to address and prevent such violence through legal measures, awareness campaigns, and support services for victims. Brazil is a diverse country with regional and cultural variations that can influence gender roles and opportunities for women differently across various parts of the nation. Efforts to promote gender equality and women's empowerment need to consider these diverse contexts. While progress has been made, there's still work to be done to achieve full gender equality in Brazil. Continued efforts aimed at addressing societal attitudes, improving access to education and healthcare, promoting economic opportunities, and ensuring legal protections for women are essential steps toward a more equitable society for all genders in Brazil. At number 6, Pakistan. Pakistan has a significant female population, contributing substantially to the country's total population. Pakistani women play diverse roles within society, contributing to various aspects of the nation's cultural, economic, and social fabric. In Pakistan, women face a mix of opportunities and challenges. Efforts have been made to improve access to education for girls, resulting in increased enrollment rates. However, disparities still exist in certain regions and among marginalized communities, affecting educational attainment for girls and limiting their opportunities for higher education. Participation of women in the workforce has also seen growth in various sectors, including healthcare, education, government, and entrepreneurship. Despite progress, there are disparities in employment opportunities and wages between men and women in Pakistan. Challenges such as gender-based violence, limited access to healthcare services, and cultural norms that reinforce traditional gender roles continue to persist in some parts of Pakistani society. Efforts to address these challenges involve legislative measures, awareness campaigns, and initiatives promoting women's rights and gender equality. The government of Pakistan has taken steps to empower women and protect their rights. Legislation aimed at addressing issues such as domestic violence, honor killings, and workplace discrimination has been introduced to protect women and promote gender equality. Pakistan's diverse cultural landscape contributes to variations in the status and roles of women across different regions and communities within the country. Efforts aimed at promoting gender equality need to consider these diverse contexts to ensure the inclusion and empowerment of women nationwide. Continued efforts focused on improving access to education, healthcare, economic opportunities, and legal protections for women are crucial to advancing gender equality in Pakistan and creating a more inclusive society for all genders. At number 7, Nigeria. Nigeria has a significant female population, contributing significantly to the country's overall population. Nigerian women play diverse and essential roles in various facets of society, contributing to the nation's cultural, economic, and social development. Nigeria is a culturally diverse country with hundreds of ethnic groups, and the status and roles of women can vary widely across regions and communities. Despite this diversity, Nigerian women have made progress in education and workforce participation, although challenges persist in certain areas. Efforts have been made to improve girls' access to education, resulting in increased enrollment rates. However, factors such as poverty, cultural norms, and early marriage practices in some regions can limit educational opportunities for girls, impacting their future prospects. In terms of economic participation, Nigerian women are actively involved in various sectors, including agriculture, business, healthcare, and education. However, gender disparities in employment opportunities, access to resources, and leadership positions persist in some areas. Challenges such as gender-based violence, limited access to healthcare services, and cultural practices that reinforce traditional gender roles remain prevalent in parts of Nigerian society. Efforts aimed at addressing these challenges involve legislative measures, awareness campaigns, and initiatives promoting women's rights and gender equality. The Nigerian government has taken steps to empower women and protect their rights. Policies and programs have been implemented to address issues such as gender-based violence, improve access to healthcare, and promote women's economic empowerment. Creating a more inclusive and equitable society for women in Nigeria involves addressing these challenges while considering the diverse cultural contexts and regional variations within the country. Continued efforts focused on improving access to education, healthcare, economic opportunities, and legal protections for women are essential for advancing gender equality and women's empowerment in Nigeria. At number 8, Bangladesh. Bangladesh has a significant female population, contributing substantially to the country's overall population. Bangladeshi women play vital roles in various aspects of society, contributing to the nation's cultural, economic, and social development. Bangladesh has made remarkable progress in improving gender parity, particularly in education. Efforts to increase girls' access to education have resulted in higher enrollment rates, and significant strides have been made in reducing the gender gap in literacy. In terms of economic participation, Bangladeshi women are actively involved in various sectors, especially the garment industry, agriculture, education, and healthcare. The ready-made garment industry, in particular, has provided significant employment opportunities for women in Bangladesh. However, challenges persist, including gender-based violence, limited access to healthcare services in rural areas, and societal norms that reinforce traditional gender roles. Efforts to address these challenges involve legislative measures, awareness campaigns, and initiatives promoting women's rights and gender equality. The Bangladeshi government has implemented various policies and programs aimed at empowering women and protecting their rights. Initiatives include measures to address gender-based violence, improve maternal health care, and promote women's economic empowerment through microfinance and entrepreneurship programs. Bangladesh's cultural diversity and regional variations contribute to differences in the status and roles of women across the country. Ongoing efforts to promote gender equality need to consider these diverse contexts to ensure the inclusion and empowerment of women across all regions. Continued efforts focused on improving access to education, healthcare, economic opportunities, and legal protections for women are crucial for further advancing gender equality and fostering a more inclusive society in Bangladesh. At number 9, Russia. Russia has a significant female population, comprising a notable portion of the country's total population. Russian women play diverse roles in various aspects of society, contributing to the nation's cultural, economic, and social spheres. Historically, women in Russia have had significant involvement in the workforce, particularly in sectors such as education, healthcare, sciences, and the arts. They have held prominent positions in different professions and industries, contributing to the country's development. Despite women's substantial participation in the workforce, challenges related to gender equality persist in Russia. Issues such as the gender pay gap, limited representation in high-level corporate positions and political leadership, and societal stereotypes regarding traditional gender roles continue to impact women's opportunities for advancement. Efforts to address gender disparities and promote women's rights have been ongoing. Russia has implemented laws and policies aimed at combating discrimination and ensuring equal rights for women in various aspects of life, including employment and education. However, gender-based violence remains a concern, and there are continued efforts to address this issue through legal measures and support services for victims. Additionally, cultural norms and societal attitudes regarding gender roles and expectations can influence the status and opportunities available to women in Russia. The Russian government has shown commitment to promoting gender equality and women's empowerment. Efforts include initiatives to enhance women's participation in decision-making processes and create policies supporting work-life balance and childcare support for working mothers. Russia's cultural diversity and regional variations can influence the status and roles of women across different parts of the country. Efforts aimed at promoting gender equality should consider these diverse contexts to ensure the inclusion and empowerment of women nationwide. Continued efforts focused on addressing gender disparities, improving access to education, economic opportunities, and ensuring legal protections for women are vital for advancing gender equality and creating a more inclusive society in Russia. At number 10, Japan. Japan has a significant female population, contributing substantially to the country's overall population. Japanese women play crucial roles in various aspects of society, contributing to the nation's cultural, economic, and social development. Japan has seen progress in terms of women's education and workforce participation. Japanese women have increasingly pursued higher education, and there's been a notable rise in their involvement in the labor force, particularly in fields such as healthcare, education, retail, and technology. However, despite advancements, Japan continues to face challenges regarding gender equality. Issues such as the gender pay gap, limited representation of women in leadership positions in the corporate world and politics, and societal expectations regarding traditional gender roles persist in Japanese society. Efforts to address these challenges and promote women's rights and gender equality have been ongoing. Japan has implemented various policies and initiatives to support women's participation in the workforce, encourage work-life balance, and increase the number of women in leadership roles. Challenges related to balancing work and family responsibilities, cultural norms that impact women's career advancement, and stereotypes about gender roles are areas that Japan continues to address in its efforts towards greater gender equality. The Japanese government has taken steps to empower women, such as promoting women's participation in the labor market through policies like Womenomics and initiatives to increase female representation in leadership positions. Japan's cultural landscape and societal expectations contribute to the status and opportunities available to women across the country. Efforts to promote gender equality should consider these factors and focus on providing equal opportunities for women in education, employment, leadership, and other spheres of society. Continued efforts to address gender disparities, improve work-life balance, and ensure equal opportunities for women are essential for advancing gender equality and fostering a more inclusive society in Japan. Please note that population demographics can change over time due to various factors such as birth rates, mortality rates, migration, and government policies. For the most current and accurate population statistics, it's advisable to refer to the latest data released by reputable sources like the United Nations or the respective national statistical agencies.